So where were you on December 7th, 1941?
At my cousin Evelyn Thornton's in Waltham, Massachusetts.
And were you really surprised? Were you really concerned about the...
Didn't faze me a bit. You could tell me the cat down the street died, and that'd be about as impressed as I was with the war.
So, but you weren't married then?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, so even though you were married and your husband was in the service, the connection of your husband's in the service and there's a war now still didn't click.
I think I was married, but I'm not sure.
You were 17, so you could have.
Okay.
When was
41, you said?
Yeah.
You didn't get
no,
married
I
until
wasn't
42.
married then.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So when you married Dad on September 18th, 1942, the war was already going. As a war bride, did you feel the sadness and, oh no, I may not see my husband again?
Oh, yeah. That's always on your mind.
It is. And were you already aware of war brides who had lost their husband by that time?
I had a friend that lost two.
Two husbands? Oh.
One was on the Arizona,
Oh, no.
and she had twin babies. And he never came back, but then she remarried, and so the babies thought that man was their dad.
Uh-huh.
But then he went down too.
Oh, man.
Boy, did she feel like she was a jinx to lose two husbands.
Yeah. Were you aware of the Sullivan brothers back then?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us the story of the Sullivan brothers and how you heard about it and what it meant to
It
you?
was almost like ours. They had so many brothers in the service.
All right.
5 brothers?
I don't know. Let's see. It was Archie, Charles, Sheridan, Lloyd, and Ralph. Yeah, 5.
5 of them were in the service. Oh, okay. So when the Sullivan brothers went down, it reminded you that you had 5 brothers.
Oh, yeah. Dottie and I went to the movies, and I was sitting right by the staircase, so their story was so close to ours that,
Yeah.
Well, the story was made a movie during the war.
yeah.
It's a 1940-ish movie.
Okay. Wow. So then, well, Dad was in the war for how long?
Well, he went in 41, and that was called a minority cruise. And then when that was up, then he re-enlisted. So he had at least 8 years, but then if he wanted to get out, he had to sign up for the reserves. Back then, you didn't have a choice.
If you wanted to get out, you had to sign up for the reserve.
Yeah, when
Okay.
that hitch was up. So he signed for the reserves. He was in that about 3 years before he got out. So he put close to 11, 12 years in.
Now, what ship was he on when he was the cook?
All of them.
Oh, he was.
He was on the Wilkes, the Nap. The Wilkes was a destroyer. The Nap was a submarine, I think. And,
The Diadon?
the Diadon was a destroyer. I mean, it was a submarine.
I think the Nap was a light cruiser. It was
Could
just
be.
a little bit bigger than a destroyer.
Oh.
So, did he like all those equally, or did he come back and tell you bad stories about some of them and good stories about the other?
He wasn't a talker.
Oh.
Sheridan would tell us to come back and act like he was the colonel that controlled the war.
And Archie,
And he
Sheridan being Dad's brother, yeah.
Yeah, he and Dad were on the same
Same
ship.
ship.
Were they on both the Wilkes and the Nap together?
They were on the Wilkes. I don't think the Nap. I'm not sure.
Okay. So, but he was a cook on all 3 of them. When did he become the head cook?
Oh, but he was still a seaman.
Was he on the Wilkes when that happened?
No, I think it was a nap.
The Nap.